Here's the truth. Bitcoin, meme coins, they've been getting all the love this cycle. What if I told you the biggest altcoin pump catalyst is starting to happen and barely anyone's talking about it? This is new. This is crazy. It's a bit shocking. I'm surprised it's happening, but it's coming. Crazy things are going to happen to altcoins, and you better be strapped in. See, while everyone's focused on Bitcoin's next peak, the latest AI tokens, companies with deep pockets are quietly stacking big cap altcoins, Ethereum, Solana, and yes, even XRP. If you haven't been paying attention, now's the time. So stick around. You don't want to miss what's coming next because it's going to be massive. So what do you think is needed to pump any of your crypto coins? The short answer is ka-ching, ka-ching, baby. Money. More money. More buyers make the damn price go up. And do you know who has lots and lots and lots of effing money? Companies and institutions. Now, while we're all looking at Bitcoin ETFs and following how MicroStrategy and BlackRock, they're getting all this Bitcoin, we now have a lot of companies that are buying Bitcoin as well, right? We had the 21 company announced and GameStop's buying, blah, blah, blah. What if I told you that's now going to happen with altcoins? We now have the MicroStrategy of Ethereum. That's insane, right? First, SharpLink Gaming raised $425 million with a plan to create an Ethereum treasury strategy. That's not just speculation, that's serious allocation backed by Joe Lubin, Pantera, and other major players in the Ethereum ecosystem. Then you've got Cosmos Health, a NASDAQ-listed company adding Ethereum as part of its hedge and diversification strategy. Solana's getting love too, another NASDAQ-listed company. DeFi Development Corp dropped more than $48 million to grab 300,000 plus Solana. Upexi, another NASDAQ-listed company, announced a $100 million private placement to buy and stake Solana. And Solana Global Investments, literally just a Solana treasury company, they're not setting it out either. They bumped up their holdings to over 30,000 Solana earlier this year and have announced plans to raise $1 billion to buy more. And we just had news of Vivo looking to buy over $100 million of XRP. Crazy stuff going on here. This is serious money, and this is just the start. We're going to see dozens more of these companies. And ETFs are coming, guys. These are long-term strategic companies. Big plays here, okay? Clearly are seeing upside in the crypto market beyond just Bitcoin. So, company balance sheets stacking altcoins. Is that getting your attention? Well, if not, then this should, because we all saw what happened when Bitcoin ETFs were approved. Billions in inflows. Mainstream headlines, Bitcoin smashing all-time highs, but here's what most people aren't watching. We are about to get probably half a dozen at least altcoin ETFs approved by the end of the year. According to Bloomberg analyst Eric Balchunas and James Seifert, they are now giving a 75% or greater chance that the SEC will approve spot ETFs for major altcoins in the coming months. Now, the four most likely ones to start: Litecoin, Dogecoin, XRP, Solana. Billions are going to flow into those four assets. Game-changing, with these companies buying at the same time. Crazy. Right now, 8 proposals are sitting on the SEC's desk tied to big names. Again, like the four we mentioned, but also you have like Cardano, Avalanche, Polkadot, HBAR, stuff like that as well. But the front runners aren't single asset ETFs. It's the basket style ETFs that bundle multiple altcoins into one fund. And get this, Balchunas and Seifert give those a 90% chance for approval. So if even one gets the green light, we could actually see institutional money start flooding into a basket of top altcoins. Again, we're not talking about your low market cap shitters, right? We're talking about the serious coins, the top blue chip stuff. Money's gonna come for altcoins. Institutional money's gonna come for altcoins. If you don't think it is, you're not paying attention. Imagine a few $1 billion in fresh ETF inflows hitting Solana. That's gonna have a huge impact. $1 billion hitting Litecoin? Price is going to go bonkers, man. This is not your average retail hype. This is serious institutional buy pressure via these ETFs. And here's what people forget. These altcoins don't have the market cap of Bitcoin. It's not even close. So even a few $100 million in consistent weekly buy pressure is incredibly big, especially for something like Dogecoin or even Solana. That's more than enough to tip the scale and start real momentum here. And while ETFs are designed for institutions, they also act as a gateway for retail investors, people who don't want to deal with wallets, keys, exchanges, all that BS. They just want to get exposure. They've heard about crypto. They want to buy a few of the top coins. They want to have some Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, XRP, and Dogecoin sitting in their Charles Schwab account in ETFs, right? This is the easiest way for the next wave of retail to dip their toes into crypto. So whether it's your hedge funds or your cousin's 401k, this kind of demand could absolutely squeeze the supply and send prices skyrocketing. And it's not just theory, okay? It's not just Lark on the internet saying this stuff, okay? Financial giant VanEck has already filed for a Solana spot ETF, and more firms are lining up. And the estimates from the ETF experts are that we could see something like 4 to 6 billion each for just XRP and Solana inflows in this year. That's crazy. Those are huge numbers. The bottom line is altcoin ETFs aren't a matter of if, but when, and they're going to bring huge money. And when they hit, it could be the biggest catalyst the altcoin market has literally ever seen. Now, before we get into the final factors, guys, if you want to save big money on your taxes with crypto, you need to check out what ITRUST is doing, the sponsor of today's video. Look, paying taxes suck. What sucks even more is not having a tax-efficient account so that you can pay as little tax as possible, maybe even no tax, okay? You should check out what the guys over at ITRUST are doing. They allow you to bring over your crypto trading, wrap it under your IRA, your 401k, whatever it might be, and trade as much as you want. Thousands of trades, never hit a taxable event once. It's very, very powerful for your long-term ability to make money in the crypto market and stack long-term wealth in crypto. They got all the top coins too, so it's not just Bitcoin, it's Solana, it's Ethereum, Dogecoin, okay? They got all kinds of stuff. The money you make there can be very efficient for you long-term. They even do in-kind withdrawals. So if you want to put that Bitcoin in your pocket in the future, you can. They also have gold and silver, thanks to their partnership with Kitco. That's the real stuff, like real physical stuff you can put in your hand. So the biggest IRA provider in crypto with the most volume, the most users, the most coins, and you'll get a $100 bonus when signing up using the link right down below here. So go check it out. And here's the crazy thing with altcoins. If you think that ETFs and corporate buying is the only trigger, think again. There's a massive macro storm brewing, and it's all bullish for altcoins. First up, real-world assets, or RWAs. They're coming on chain. They're coming on chain much faster than I anticipated. We're talking trillions in tokenized treasuries. Avalanche just announced a $250 million deal just yesterday. Equities are moving into crypto infrastructure in a big way. Big banks like JP Morgan, Wells Fargo, Citi, they're going to bring trillions of bonds, gold, stocks on chain, real estate. They're not just testing the waters anymore. They're building and they're rushing to get in the door to be early movers in the space. Some are even exploring stablecoin strategies. According to a Cointelegraph report, TradFi is now developing custom Ethereum Layer 2 specifically designed for tokenizing real-world assets. That means Wall Street is literally building on crypto rails. Then there's the stablecoin bill. This is massive. If it passes, it brings regulatory clarity and opens the door for trillions in compliant dollar-backed liquidity to flow seamlessly into crypto. Imagine Bank of America is going to start putting crypto wallets in their apps. And you can just bridge over to Solana, buy some dog coins. Crazy. This could make on-ramps and off-ramps way easier for both institutions and for retail. Now stack that on top of the broader macro picture, it's massive. The bearish pressure we've seen over the past few months, it's starting to lift. The US just saw a major court block on tariffs, a move that could definitely ease global tensions, as well as some of those inflation fears. That's bullish for risk assets right across the board. Meanwhile, rate cuts may not be locked in, but the conversation has clearly shifted. Markets are now pricing in potential easing in the months ahead. And inflation, right now, it's not a problem. It's showing a lot of signs of cooling. Not perfectly, but enough to give the market room to breathe and to give the Fed the ability to say, we're going to cut rates. We need the tariff stuff to calm down, okay? Now, the latest S&P Global Flash Manufacturing PMI just jumped to 52.3 in May, the highest in 3 months and well above expectations. And by the way, above 50 means it's good, it's growing. Bonanza time, baby. Banana zone. Let's go. Everything to the moon. That signals the strongest improvement in business conditions since mid-2022. This means expansion, which is just bullish all around. All of these points show a shift in momentum. By the way, consumer confidence absolutely exploded and just smashed way beyond expectations the other day. The fact that we're still in the expansion phase of the business cycle, basically at the bottom, still to go all the way to the top of the business cycle, bodes well for altcoins to give us one more big hurrah for this bull market. There's still going to be shit tons of money to be made with all these catalysts coming. I know we've been waiting for our altcoins to go up in price. I wonder if it's ever going to happen, but it will. See, here's the deal. Unless we get a black swan event, some global war, or Trump throws us, I don't know, finds aliens, then tariffs them, it's possible. That's why we're going to Mars, guys. We're going to find the aliens. We're going to tariff those little bastards. Altcoins are gearing up for a major breakout, okay? Fingers crossed. I know I've said this before. This time, though, this time. Look, institutional interest is growing. Real-world assets are moving on chain. Clear regulations are on the horizon. And positive economic signals are just coming in right across the board. The conditions are aligning perfectly. And no, it doesn't happen over effing night, okay? But it's not just hype. It's a real setup for altcoins to shine in the months, maybe even the years ahead. Final note. Hit the damn sell button when you have life-changing money on the table. Don't screw it up this time. Bye. Thanks for watching.